What's up guys? Today we're going to be doing an engine swap and a paint job on this Murray Track 2. So I bought this little mini bike recently. I really liked the shape of the frame, and it's like super sturdy, and the nice wide handlebars on it, and just the overall styling was cool. I didn't really care what the engine looked like or ran like. Turns out this one runs pretty good though. It's a 3.5 horsepower. We took it out for a trail ride yesterday and it did pretty good. It held its own against the Z50, which you can see right here. It has pretty good power for the hills and stuff. Top speed I think was like 25 miles an hour. I'll be taking this off and putting something else on it. You'll see that soon. I'm going to paint the frame, and I think I'm gonna do a metal flake pink. So you'll see, it's gonna be cool. So I'm just gonna get started stripping this down. Stay tuned. All right, so I got the engine off, the seat, the handlebars, and I'm gonna wash the frame now before I take the wheels off and prep it for paint. So I just wanted to show real quick how the braking system works on the Track 2. These things don't come with a front brake, just a rear brake, and so when you squeeze the lever, it tensions this band around the drum here. Yeah, it's not a great system for slowing down. We were noticing on the trail ride the other day that it could use a little more braking power, especially with a larger engine on this, so I'll be switching that out for a disc brake. Alright, so the frame is down to just the frame here. I sanded it down with 220 to prep it for paint. I cleaned it off with some naphtha to get rid of any oils that might be on there. I'm gonna spray it with this black primer first, Rust-Oleum. Alright, so the frame is done. The glitter over black looks pretty awesome. It's not showroom quality, but I mean, this is a mini bike. It's gonna be ridden off-road and stuff, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. So this is the process that I used. I used this black primer. It's flat black. Used pretty much an entire can of that. And then this was $20 on eBay. I pretty much ran out of this, so I went out looking for a replacement, and I found this, which obviously looks different. It even has a different SKU number, but as far as I can tell, it's exactly the same product, and it's $8. So this is $8 at Home Depot. So get 2 cans of this. Same quality as this. I can't tell the difference. Like, it finished up perfectly. Basically 2 cans, something like 10 or 12 coats of gloss clear coat. Alright, I just got a delivery of parts, so let's see what we got in here. Got a kill switch. This is going to go on the handlebars up here. A hydraulic brake. This is going to be cool. Disc brake for the rear. And one last thing. Oh boy. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh, it's pretty light. Very light. So that is the Tillotson 212 Hemi. This is 10 horsepower. compared to the engine that was on here before, which was 3.5 horsepower. So this is almost 3 times as much. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to get that on there. I'll put the links to all these parts in the description, along with the part numbers, so you know where to get them, in case you're looking to do a build like this. So this disc brake is just a little bit too small to fit over the hub. So what I'm going to do is take the original brake and line up the bolt pattern, and then just color it in the middle there and remove that material with a file or grinding wheel or something like that. So alright, so I've got the center hole big enough. I had to use a reamer on these 4 holes here like this just to get these to fit over the threads. I've got a couple of washers to space on the back here. This is just for a test fit. And that is so that the caliper here fits next to the tire. There's a little bit of space here. In order to get the spacer out of the caliper the way it comes, you just need to release the bleeder valve a little bit. A little bit of fluid will come out. Just making sure it's tight now. So a little bit of fluid will come out of that, and then you can fit it over the disc. And my mounting holes, this bracket here, I'm going to need to get some special bolts at the hardware store to fit that onto the bike frame, because this will stay stationary and this will spin. So let's go ahead and test fit the wheel on the frame. Alright, so I've got the wheel on. I've got the washers and the nuts tightened on the disc here. And don't forget to put your chain on this side and tighten down those bolts. So these bolts that go into the bracket on the brake are M6 by 1. And I just made a little spacer here out of tubing. So I'm going to put that in here. And attach the brakes like that. And I'll just tighten those down. So I drilled 2 holes here for the M6 by 1 bolts. Those line up with the bracket. You can see the spacers there that I cut out of a piece of pipe, and the bolts are just exactly long enough so that they don't touch the rotor, and it just holds this caliper in place. This is my temporary exhaust, just until I can get something else on here. So it's got the old flange from the muffler here that I cut off, and just some plumbing pipe screwed on. The challenge with the exhaust is this frame here, frame rail. So it either has to go on the inside or outside of this. Preferably the inside. There's the view from the rear. So I wanted to use the stock exhaust on this build, but it just wouldn't fit under this frame. So I ended up getting this this header on eBay, and I've got some header wrap on here to keep my leg from getting burned. There's also a muffler which quiets it down a little bit. It's still pretty loud, but it kind of adds to the ridiculousness of it, so I like it. The only issue with this is that starts to create some tuning problems. So now the engine's running too lean. So I'm going to have to adjust the carburetor or maybe even get a new one. Here is the adjustment on the carburetor. This is your idle right here. Turn it clockwise to make the idle faster, and counterclockwise to make it slower. And then over here, there's a little brass screw, which that should be the mixture, but it almost looks like it was installed backwards at the factory, so there's no way to stick a flathead screwdriver in there. So I'm going to need to take this carburetor apart and see if I can adjust that. The jet in here is a .028, and I was going to see if I could find a .029 or a .030. I had a hard time finding jets for this online, so if I can't tune this, then I'm going to see if I can maybe replace it at some point. So this build turned out really cool. This thing's a total hot rod now. You know, the acceleration is really good. It stops really good. It was a lot of fun to put together. It just looks kind of over the top, and it's really loud. It kind of sounds over the top, so I like that about it. I would highly recommend the disc brake with the hydraulic brake upgrade for this. It's a really safe thing to do on a bike like this that's going to be going a lot faster. So in all, here's what I spent on the whole project. The bike was $225 used. The Hemi engine is $194. The disc brake is $24. The hydraulic brake system is $49. The switch was $4. The paint was $30. The header was $35, and the muffler was $48. So in all, I spent $609 on the whole build. So that's about the same as what you'd pay for, you know, a brand new mini bike. So I'm going to continue to do a little bit more tuning on this thing and try to deliver more fuel because it's running lean. If you like this video, please subscribe and share it on Facebook. Those are the best ways that you can support this channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching Rat Insurance.